Let me make sure that it's going here. Give me just a second. Everybody kind of get yourself in. Let me just introduce Daniel Luna, the person that is famous from this gift that's now going viral with the hola, hola, hola. Daniel, let me let you introduce yourself. And I'll just say that this guy, most of my fondest experiences traveling with Overfelt in Europe are because of this guy and with this guy. So he's someone I know personally. Es un amigo. Y where are you right now, Daniel?
I'm in Madrid, Spain.
All right. Take it away.
Hello, everybody.
Hola.
Hola, hola, hola. Hello, everybody. It's almost midnight here, by the way.
Yeah, these guys would be thinking about going to bed at about that time. Unfortunately, the way it is now, they're set up perfectly for life in Europe, though, right? Go to bed late and.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we have to go to bed early as well these days because of the whole thing.
That's true. That's true.
We usually don't. Yeah, that's me again.
I was gonna play a little clips from Madrid in our trip.
Oh, that's cool.
If that's okay.
Sure.
Just to kind of let people know what we're doing here. So this is from our trip a couple years ago now. You might see Kehlani. And this is where we switched to Madrid, where Daniel is.
Yeah. I'm actually wearing the same sweater. It's true.
You were actually going the wrong way. That's fine. Next time you'll get it right. Just take a closer look at what's going on there. See?
So we'll just watch a couple minutes just to get a sense of what Madrid is like, and then Daniel will tell us lots more about the whole world and not just Madrid.
Yeah, sure.
And your job, Daniel, your job is to lead the tours, right?
Yeah, I work as a tour director, as you can see in this video. So I lead tours around, all Western Europe and also Japan, mostly American student groups, around Spain, around Italy, France, Portugal. And we visit all the main monuments in each place, and we eat together and we travel together for a couple of weeks. So yeah, that's what I do for a living, or that's what I used to do when traveling was allowed. Hopefully we'll be doing that soon again. That's the very heart of Madrid. That's called Puerta del Sol. That's a very typical Spanish food, chocolate con churros. That's your whole group following me. That's the Prado Museum, which is the most important art collection in Spain, which we visit during these tours. Yeah, these are all iconic images of Madrid. That's the symbol of Madrid, the bear and the tree, and that's one of the kings of Spain. Well, all the that's a monument to Don Quixote. So all the main sites in Madrid, which we saw on that trip. That's a royal palace, a gorgeous palace. I hope you can all visit it. And that's my house. That's where actually that was still the royal palace. Yeah, these are the typical sites on a tour. Those are some of the things we see. All the street performers, the royal palace in Madrid, all the atmosphere. Things are very different today because of the whole lockdown and the pandemic and everything. But you can get a glimpse from these videos of the great atmosphere that we have in Madrid usually. So it's a great place to visit. I mean, everywhere in Europe, but I'm from Madrid and I live here. And there are a few places where you get the vibe that you get in Madrid. It's a very vibrant city. And these people are all getting chocolate and churros, which is the most typical dessert in Madrid. It adds a few thousand calories for each bite, but it tastes really good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was the last day on the trip, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Well, to me with your with the jersey that you gave me, I still have it. Oh my god, I had longer hair that back then.
Yeah, well, I can return to that for your singing ability too. But let me, would you like to go to, I found some pictures from our tour that were
cool.
Metro specific. Would you want to start with your pictures?
Either way, if you have anything ready, I can comment on that. Or
I have just a couple pictures, and then we'll go over to your file. I just had the spilled plate of spaghetti, which is the map of the Madrid, much more complicated than Sevilla, no?
Yeah, much more. Sevilla only has a few stations and one line basically. Here in Madrid, we've got 12 lines. It's the largest subway network in Spain and also the oldest. And seems very complicated, but the gist of it is easy to navigate. Do you want me to comment on the pictures or just along with him, or?
Yeah, I'll just I found that picture from 2017.
Oh yeah,
Not the same shirt.
Oh, so that was from the first tour?
Yeah.
First trip?
Oh, yes, from our first tour. Yeah, not the same shirt.
Mm-hmm. Not the same shirt, same color, but not the same shirt.
And what's happening here?
So that's a sign, that's a panel that indicates the different stops, different stations on line 1. You can see a number 1 on a blue square that shows you that you're walking, that you're on the subway going towards line 1, train line 1. And since you need to go where to go and how many stops it is until your destination, you have these panels showing you each stop on the way, right? So there we would probably be at Sol, I'm guessing, which you can see, yeah, right there where the arrow is, where the mouse is pointing at, Sol. So depending on which way you're going, you will be going up the panel or the panel. And depending on your final destination, you would know how many stops and the names of each stop before you get there. And I was just explaining everybody where we were going and what they should be looking out for.
And it looks like you might have, I don't know what my son was doing. Maybe he was in charge of yelling out the name of the stop.
Yeah, probably. I usually get some assistants to help me, which helps me get the group's attention. Otherwise, they get tired of listening to me speaking all the time. But yeah, he was probably yelling out the name of the station or the number of stops we should be counting before we get there. Exactly. Also, on the panel, you can see there are other numbers on the top left part of it. Number 9, number 10. Those are 2 different subway lines, and so if you need to get to use those lines to get to those trains, you go to that stop, P de Castilla, the first one, and then those numbers there indicate that you can transfer there to those lines.
In this,
so it's all very, it says Paco de Lucia. Yeah, that's a good thing. So the Paco de Lucia would be the last stop on line 9. And the thing is, subway stops are named after a bunch of different things. One of them is celebrities, politicians, generals, all kinds of people. Some of them are named after artists. That one is named after the most important flamenco guitar player ever, who died a few years ago. His name is Paco de Lucia. Paco de Lucia. I totally suggest you look up his music. Paco de Lucia, great guitar player. Everybody loved him. He passed away a couple of years ago.
Would Paco de Lucia be the end of one direction, and would the one below it, Arganda del Rey, would that be the other end?
Exactly. It shows you the 2 the 2 stops at the end of each at the end of the line on each side. So you would be going either direction Paco de Lucia or either direction Arganda del Rey if you're taking line 9. So you need to know the last stop on the direction you're going to. So
Right.
you know what to look for in the panels, right?
Exactly.
Here you can see on line 1, right next to the arrow and the number 1,
Mhm.
it says Valdecarros. Valdecarros is the last stop on one direction.
Mhm.
You can actually see it. It's the last stop down there, exactly. So let's say we are in Sol right now. Sol, right next to my head. Station stop Sol. And you want to go to, let's say, Buenos Aires, which is on the right of the picture, Buenos Aires. So you want to make sure that when you go to the platform, you get on the platform that goes direction Valdecarros, because that's what's going to let you know that you're going on the right direction. You want to, there will always be a sign, a panel saying your train is going to either Valdecarros or the other one, Plaza de Castilla, on the other side. So you want to make sure that you get on the right train, and you do that by looking at the name of the last stop on the direction you're going. And that's the way not to get too lost.
Mhm. Good.
Exactly. So you get on the, let's say we're in Sol. I think we were in Sol at that
Mhm.
time,
Mhm.
in that moment. So you get there and you will have two options. You have this panel that shows you the way to Valdecarros, but there will be another panel nearby showing you the way, an arrow pointing probably to the other side, the way to Plaza de Castilla, which is the other side, the end of the line on the other side. So you want to make sure you follow this arrow if you're going to Buenos Aires. All right.
Very cool.
So that's
Excellent.
yeah. On the first picture we saw, the map, it shows you, as you said, just spaghetti. It looks like a bunch of spaghetti on the floor or whatever. So it looks very confusing. But once you get used to how the signs work, how the panels work, and the information you need to look for, it's easy to find your way around. And also keep in mind that most of the time, people who take the subway every day will be doing the same itinerary every day. Like you go from home to work, or from home to school, or from school to your friend's place, and you will be doing this every day pretty much. So
Mhm.
after you've done it 5-6 times, you pretty much can sleepwalk your way to your destination. The first time you get on the subway and you don't even know the name of the station, you don't even know how it works. But after a few times, you don't even think about it. You just go on autopilot.
Mhm.
So it's easier than it looks.
So I have the trip from I think it's your house or your parents' house to Bernabeu. So we can
Yeah,
do
sure.
that later. We can do that either now or later, and we can go to your pictures. ¿Qué quiere?
Yeah, let's go over the pictures.
Okay.
Because there's a ton of information there, and
Yeah, let's do it.
I think, yeah.
All right. Give me just
That's probably Real Madrid's trophy hall, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah,
probably
stadium.
was. Yeah,
Real
I
Madrid
think it
stadium, yeah.
was. Let me.
Do we have any Barcelona fans here?
Yeah, any Barcelona fans, guys? These guys are sometimes afraid to come on the mic. Maybe in the chat, microphone preferred, so he can hear you.
Well, any Barcelona fans you should fail this course. You should get an F in this course.
Yeah.
Any Real Madrid fans, you get an A+.
A+. Right.
Absolutely.
I'm glad I didn't wear the wrong.
The wrong jersey.
Remember, I think I had both. I had one day I wore Barcelona, one day I wore Madrid, and you were just like, why? Why? ¿Por qué? All right.
Yeah, you should wear either one depending on who you're going to be talking to.
Okay, I have we should be ready to go. So
All
just
right.
tell me, you can just tell me sigue or adelante or whatever you want.
Okay, fine. So one of the things that you can find while using the subway is that as I said before, the stops are named after a bunch of different things. Some of them are named after landmarks. So this one says Opera, right? Because it's right next to the Opera Theater. The building on the left, that one's the Opera Theater. So this one is named after the Opera Theater. Actually, you have a sign there that says 2018 because that was probably the commemoration of the 12th of the 200th anniversary of the Royal Theater, the Opera Theater, which was opened in 1818. So in 2018, we celebrated the 2 centuries of the opera theater. So here's one. Let's go to the next one. Okay, I wanted to show you this just to show you that Madrid subway is not complicated at all. This is this is another place where I take groups to. This is the Tokyo subway. So when you compare it to Madrid, well, the Madrid looks like a piece of cake, doesn't it? Here you don't even know what you're reading, right? So it can get much worse than the Madrid subway. Yeah, exactly. Like try to find your way around this thing. The first time I took a group around Tokyo, I almost jumped onto the tracks. It was really hard. But again, once you get used to it, it's not that hard, but still much harder than the one in Madrid. So if you ever go to Tokyo, you'll have to deal with that. So Madrid, piece of cake. Here's another stop named after a landmark. It's called Banco de España because the building on the right, you can only see a part of it, is the Bank of Spain. So this stop is called Banco de España, exactly. The building, the large building you see behind the sign is the town hall and also the post office. I wonder if you have any post office like that, looks like that. No.
In a famous...
that's the best looking,
yeah.
looking post office I know.
Exactly.
And the building to the right, you can only see a small part of it, is the Bank of Spain. So that's why this stop is called Banco de España. One thing that helps you find the entrance to the subway station is the metro sign. I'm calling it subway, but in Spanish, of course, we call it metro. And the sign is that red diamond. It's always a red diamond with a writing inside, which says either metro or the name of the station. So that's the sign that indicates that you're looking at a subway entrance, right? So that makes it easier to find. And that's a group of a bus loaded with tourists visiting Madrid. So that tells you that this is not a recent picture. That's that's from more than a year ago. All right. The next one is named after the football stadium where the best team in the world plays. You should all learn this. This is the most important thing you're going to get from this from today, from this class. This is the best team in the world. It's called Real Madrid, and they play at a stadium called Santiago Bernabéu. That's the name of the president in the 50s and 60s. So here's another station named after a landmark, right? So you have the Opera, the Bank of Spain, the stadium, and there are other stops named after artists. This is named after Goya, which is famous, very important artist whose paintings are at the Prado Museum, which we saw before. So this is Goya. The next one is Velázquez, I think. Velázquez, which whenever you come to Spain, you will learn how to pronounce it correctly. It's called Velázquez. You can call it Velázquez for now, but whenever you're in Madrid, you'll have to call it Velázquez. All right. And I think that's it for stations named after different things. Yes. So you get on the subway, you find your station, you find the stop, you find the entrance, looking at that red diamond. You go downstairs and you need a ticket to ride the subway, right? What do you get it from? You get it from one of these machines. These machines are the place where you buy a card. I'm going to show you a card. You can buy a single ticket for one ride. You would only do that if you're going to be in Madrid for one day, or or for just a couple of days at most. Because if you're here for more than a couple of days, you will be taking the metro probably more than 10 times. And for that, you can get a 10 ride ticket, which is much more, it's less expensive, right? And I don't know if they can see me now, but here's the card that you buy. Here's the card that you buy. And with this one, you go and the doors open for you. So you need to buy one of these. And you can also get a monthly one. Cool. Okay. So this is the card that you buy. Okay. Right. It's doing the video is doing 5 things. So you get one of these for one ride, for 10 rides, or you can get a monthly pass. I have a monthly pass here. It's not mine. It's my girlfriend's monthly pass. And why am I showing you this one? Because well, I have to say I cheat a little bit. Sometimes I use her pass because it's cheaper, because she's younger than I am, and she gets a better price than I do. But don't tell the police. So you can get a regular card for a single ride or for 10 rides. Or you
Okay.
can get a monthly one with your picture in it. Luckily, they haven't checked because it's not my picture, it's my girlfriend's. But anyway, and if you get a monthly pass, you get different prices depending on your age. If you're over 60, you get one price. If you're under 20 something, you get a different price. And with the monthly pass, you save a lot of money, right? If you use it every day. Otherwise, it would be very expensive to pay for a single ride over and over again. So that's where you get the tickets at the ticket machines. Let's see the next picture. Let's see what that is. Okay, so once you get your card, you hover it over the turnstiles. In this case, there are two kinds of entrances. One is the turnstile. The next one is a glass, like glass doors that open. Right, these are more modern. So these are the two ones. So you see this lady hovering her card over that green thing, and that opens the doors for her. And why are they using these doors now and not the other ones? Well, you have the answer in the next picture. Because people used to do that. People used to go under the turnstiles because it was easy to do that. So many people were doing that. So they have started changing many stations the way you access it. So now you have to go through the other ones.
Now, Daniel,
And
what's the issue for a group traveling that does that and does not use the tickets like we maybe
Oh,
we
God.
did back in 2019?
Yeah, well, when you're just traveling yourself or just with a friend or whoever, just yourself or a couple of people, that's fine. But if you go, as I do, when I'm working with 40, 50 people at once, well, it's much faster if I get the tickets, because otherwise it's a mess. If everybody needs to go to the machines and get their own ticket, well, I get the tickets for everybody, which makes it faster. But sometimes, for whatever the reason, it doesn't work, or it takes too long, or we're losing the train. So I get the cards, but sometimes I have to ask everybody to just go in, and I pay for everybody. And then I don't know exactly what happened on the trip that you referred to, but it was probably that we couldn't get the train on time, or otherwise had to open the doors for everybody to just walk by, and someone was holding the door. I don't remember exactly.
Any recollection, Kaylani?
What happened exactly?
Did we get stuck in the door?
Someone got stuck.
I thought it was in Paris where just people just decided I'm not going to wait, and everybody just jumped over. I think out of boredom.
Yeah, well, in Paris it makes sense because the Paris subway is a mess and it doesn't always work, and sometimes you just have to do it because otherwise you can't get in there. Yeah, it doesn't. I think it's. Oh yeah. Oh, I remember now. Yes. The turnstiles weren't working at all, or it was going to take forever because it was a large group and there was only one, and it took a long time. So we found a side door, and we had it open for everybody. Yeah, it was when we were coming out of the we were coming back to the hotel, I think.
Yeah.
And for some reason we couldn't get out because the tickets didn't work or the turnstiles didn't work. So we had to go through a side door and just let everybody out without using their tickets. We had paid for them, but we didn't use them. And they were expiring on that same day. But we couldn't use them because otherwise we would have never got out of the station. Yeah, these things happen all the time on tour. You never know what's going to happen. All right, so you have different kinds of panels to help you navigate your way around. Because otherwise, especially if you haven't used it, it's easy to get lost. But here, as you're walking around the subway, you will see different panels indicating where you're going to. So this is one similar to the first one we saw. Instead of line 1, this is line 6, and it shows you the way to, well, different stations. This is a particular one because it's the circular line, as you can see. So it goes in rounds, goes round and round. So you can get on this train and just spend your whole day there. The train keeps running, and so it's the same thing as the first sign we saw. It shows you exactly where each stop the train is doing on that, it's making on that line, and the way to get to the and then, which means platform, the way to the platform, depending on where you want to go. All right, this one's a very tricky one because it's the circular line, and you're never sure exactly which way it's going. So you want to make sure you see these panels before, even if you have taken it for years. I might still get confused if I don't pay attention to these panels.
I was going to ask you, how do you know which, if you're in like, if you're here, I think in esta estación,
Yeah,
and you want to go here,
yeah.
I guess it might say the right.
There's a small arrow there. It's so small you can't even see it. In that white part in the on the yeah, there's an arrow pointing towards the left or towards the left. So if the first thing or the most important thing you need to know is what the name of your stop, the name of the station you're going to. And if you know that, then you can look it up here on this mini map. And also on the left panel, your stop should be there. So let's say I'm going to Laguna. I'm going to Laguna, right? So I look on the left panel, and down there, halfway there, it says Laguna. So I know I'm on the right track. But let's say I'm going to O'Donnell. There's a station called O'Donnell. But it is on the map, on the mini map. It's on the right side, actually. Yeah, exactly, right there. So it's not on the list on the left, so you're going the wrong way. All right.
Oh.
And there will be another panel next to it pointing you in the opposite direction, and on that panel you will see O'Donnell. So you need to be very careful and pay attention to these panels.
Yeah, I don't remember this one, but that makes sense. I don't know if we took this one, but you can match up all of these right here or right here. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Cool.
All right. So that's a circular line. All right. Let's move to the next one. Let's see what that is. Let's get to
sorry.
Yeah, we've seen all those. Yep.
My arrow. There we go. There's my arrow. Okay.
Good. Again, these are just signs indicating you exactly where you're at. These are signs on the subway platforms which show the name of the stop you're at, the name of the station. This is called Avenida de América, and it points towards two things. First, two lines that you can transfer to, line 4, line 6. So if you need to take those lines, you go that way. And also it points you towards the exit. That's why it says salida.
Salida.
And also on the image above, you see the names of the stops remaining until the end of the line on that orange line. Each line has a number and a color, so that helps you find your way around. You're on line 7, and I know that because I know the system, but there's no sign there saying it. But line 7 is orange, right? Line 7's color is orange. So from line 7 at that stop in Avenida América, you can transfer to lines 4 and 6. So these are two different pictures from two different stations. One at Avenida América and the other at Parque Avenidas. So on the image in the bottom, you can tell you're at Avenida América. That's the name of the stop. You're in line 7, which is orange, and you can transfer to lines 4 and 6, and you can go out that way. You can exit the station that way.
Yeah, because we haven't really, we haven't done too many change twos yet. We'll do one today to get from his house to El Estadio to watch Real Madrid. But so we have that verb cambiar, and then we'll just add to it cambia, like change to.
Cool.
Excellent.
All right. Yeah, well, these are basically the same things, just to show you that each line has a different color. These are signs which you find on each platform, and it shows you on the direction you're taking the train to, the names and the stops remaining until you get to the end of the line. And then at each stop, you see the lines that you can transfer to. Correspondencia, that word over there, that long word over there, correspondencias, that means transfers between stations or between lines at particular stations, right? So you know that station called Manuel Becerra, you can transfer to line 6. At the next one called Ventas, which is the bull ring, the name of the bull ring, because that's the subway for the bull ring. At that stop at Ventas, you can transfer to line 5, green line. All right, so it's easy once you get used to it.
Mhm.
And again, well, yeah, this sign, I wanted to show this sign because the green signs always show you the way out. And there are different streets that you can get to. There are different exits. These all seem to be going the same way, but you will have different openings once you get there. And these are the names of different streets that you get to if you go that way once you leave the station. So any green sign will be a sign for exiting the station, and these ones show you which particular street you will be going to, depending on which way you take on the exit. All right.
Yeah. And what exit via lift? Do they lift you up in their arms? What's a lift?
Yeah. So
I thought we
I
speak
think in
all
the US,
English here.
I think that would be a British term for elevator, right? You
Elevator.
guys call it elevator, yes. So
Exactly.
I think in British English, an elevator is called a lift.
Yep.
So that's the way to the elevator, which in Spanish is called ascensor. That word starting with an A, ascensor. Literally elevator to the exit.
Exactly. And there's so many words in English that are different in other parts of the world. And then notice the spelling of center for a shopping center.
That's right.
Here,
That's right.
Clase. So we would spell it ER, but it's RE.
Right.
These
Yeah.
Yeah, these little things.
Yeah, I think that's the British spelling. We have more. We're closer to the British
yeah.
guys. That's
No,
why we use theirs.
it makes sense. It makes sense why.
Yeah. This is just the same kind of sign, and you know, exits, salidas, pointing towards different directions. So depending if you're going to Calle Preciados, you will be going to the right. If you're going to Calle Mayor, you will be going to the left.
Oh,
If
so
you're taking the elevator, you will be going to the right as well.
I didn't know that. That's the C for calle, and we just learned
Yeah.
calle last chapter. Calle, cruza la calle. All right.
Exactly. C stands for calle, which is street, as you know. And these are different signs that you find once you are in this line, which is again line 7. You'll see all these lines, and this one shows you the lines that you can transfer to at each stop, and also the lines that you can access through an elevator. Speaking about lifts and elevators,
Yep.
so they are they're accessible by handicapped
Mhm.
people in wheelchairs or people who need an elevator to access the subway. These are the ones where you can do that. These are the ones which will have an elevator, a working elevator for going up and down the subway, because of
Great.
course it's underground.
Yeah.
And also a cool thing. Oh, this is a long time to wait. That's why I took this picture. So there are panels, electronic panels, at each platform, telling you how long until the next train. It's usually a couple of minutes, 3 minutes, 5, 10 is considered a long time. This one was 18 minutes, which is a very, very long time for trains. That's why I took this picture, because I could not believe I had to wait 18 minutes. That's a very long time to wait. That was probably late at night, after midnight or 1 a.m. when frequencies are longer. You have to wait long for the next train. So at each platform, you will have a sign telling you need to wait for a couple of minutes, or so indicating how long until the next train. What's that?
I was just trying. I can't write very well. It's just that we haven't learned this tense yet, but llegar, to arrive, and we learned va a llegar, clase, but this is the other future tense. I'm assuming.
I like that you added the accent mark. That's good.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm hoping it wasn't the imperfect subject. Yeah, so llegara, like it may. Pero I'm assuming it will arrive. So this is the other future that we haven't learned yet, but it's pretty easy. Clase, llegaré, llegarás, and then this is it will arrive. This is saying the next train, próximo tren, will arrive, and then of course he told you. And then is this dado, like data, or?
No, the thing is the green sign doesn't move, but the red writing is, it's like this ticking sign.
Yeah, it goes across. See,
so it's the end. Yeah, so it's the end of a word. I cannot figure out which word it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not a whole word. That's
okay.
Why.
I thought it was an abbreviation. That makes sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And yeah, once you've passed once you got your card and crossed the turnstiles and you look for your train, you might find this. Sometimes, especially rush hour, it gets very, very crowded. so crowded that people cannot even get out of the train. This is a summer picture by the clothes people are wearing. So it makes it even worse. It's sweaty. It might be smelly. Once you get on the train car, you might find out that half of the people traveling there haven't taken a shower that day. So it may it may be an uncomfortable experience. It's not always like that, but if you take it on rush hour, which is in the morning around 8 a.m., 9 a.m. when everybody's going to work, or in the evening around 7, 8 p.m., it might look like that. Yeah, the next one I think is also about crowded trains or platforms. Yeah, this is a crowded train. This is a recent one, you can tell by the masks people are wearing. So this is this year's picture.
Mhm.
You have this metro symbol there, the red diamond, and a typically packed train car.
So that's
And the
and
next
that's
one's
what it's
yeah.
like right now. Like if you ride, it'll be packed in like that.
It will be at rush hour,
Yeah.
but yeah, less so than previously, because many more people are not commuting. They're working from home, just as we all are doing now. So many people are not even going to school or work. They're working from home. They're attending class from home, and many people have their jobs anyway. So it's less crowded than usual, but still crowded. Yeah, and this is a recent one. This is from this summer, because
Wow.
people are wearing summer clothes and they're wearing masks. So this is definitely from this summer.
Mm. Mm.
Okay, this is me working. You can see me with a group of Americans. I think they were Californians as well. And this is not Madrid though. This is Paris. This is the Paris subway, which is always crowded. So that was me with a group of, I don't know, 50 some Americans traveling around Europe. We were in Paris at that time. And that's what it usually looks like, because 50 of us getting in one train makes it crowded instantly, right? So yeah, that's what my job looks like on a regular
That's a
day.
good job.
Yeah, I know. And this one's in Tokyo. I wasn't working at that time. I was traveling on my own in Tokyo, but that one does get crowded as well. Just wanted to show you
Yeah,
just a couple of
absolutely.
typical pictures of crowded subway trains. Okay, here's another interesting thing. Some stations are decorated with a particular motif which relates to that part of the city, or something about that that neighborhood, or about that street name. So this one these are the hallways of the station called Chueca, which is the gay neighborhood. All right, so it's a very popular neighborhood, gay neighborhood, and since it's the gay neighborhood, they put the rainbow flag just to add some color to it.
Mhm.
And there are a couple of examples more of this in the next pictures. Okay, this station is Goya. Now Goya is a very important artist, painter from 200 years ago, and the last paintings he did were these black paintings, very surreal, very dark paintings, because he was going mad at the end of his life. So as you walk on the platforms of this station, which is named after this guy, you see some of these paintings. These are not the originals; these are reproductions, of course, but this is the work he did. So this is another example of decorating the subway with things related to the station that you are in a particular moment, which is nice. So while you're waiting for the train, you learn about Goya's paintings and you enjoy his art.
Neat.
The next one is okay. So this is a stop called Gregorio Marañón. Gregorio Marañón was a doctor, as you can see there. Marañón is his name. Médico means doctor. And since this station is named after him, you have a mural here, kind of mosaic, with his pictures and some of his writings and some historical pictures. So this is just to show you that depending on the station you're at, it gets decorated differently, referring to whatever the station is named after. All right, and again, while you wait for the train, you learn some things. And this is the opera station, and you see a picture of the theater, of the opera theater seatings, telling you this is opera. So just to remind you that the opera theater is right above you in that very moment.
Y se puede sentar. You can sit and get that picture like you're sitting at the opera, because por aquí.
E-
Part here.
Exactly. You sit there, and yeah, and with that background, it feels like you're at the opera. And believe me, the things you see on the subway are a show just as good as any opera.
Yeah, you
see
might
all kinds
tell
of
us your
stuff.
stories.
Yeah, I'll tell a couple of them, but yeah, it's
Okay.
all. Pásame el cargador, por favor. I'm running out of battery with my laptop. Me too. Yeah. All right. So, okay, this is a historical picture. The Madrid subway, the Madrid Metro, is the oldest in Spain. It opened in 1919, 200 years ago. And guess who opened it? Who took the first ride on the subway? The King of Spain. And that guy is the King of Spain. That guy with the mustache and the hat is the King of Spain. His name is Alfonso. Alfonso XIII. He's the great grandfather of our current king, Felipe. And he was the first person to take the subway, to take a subway ride. So on the day the subway opened in Madrid, again, 1919, I was very young back then, I barely remember it. He was the first to take a subway ride, Alfonso the King. All right. If you see the background that I have, this is a monument in the main park in Madrid, Retiro Park, dedicated to this guy's father, the king that went before him. Alfonso XII is the one that the monument is dedicated to. Alfonso XIII is the guy in the picture, opening the subway.
Very cool.
All right.
Oh, dang it. Click on the wrong thing.
All right. Chueca. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. And then the next one is, okay. So that's the same picture. And the picture in color is that same car that the king took, which has been kept and is now in display in one of the stations. So you can see what it looked like. So it's still there 100 years later. Yeah, it's not in use. They're not using it anymore, but you can see it's on display just to see what it looked like. And now we see our current king. That's Felipe, King Felipe, who, when we celebrated the 100th anniversary of the subway, did the same thing. He took a ride on this old train car, the same that his great grandfather had taken the first ride. And that's how we celebrated the 100th anniversary. Of course, the king never takes the subway, but he did that day just for this special occasion. And here's the king, King Felipe, taking a ride on a regular train car. This is a modern one, and just saying hello to that lady that was traveling and probably very surprised to see the king on the subway. You don't expect to see him on the subway ever. And since we're talking about the royal family and the king, I might as well talk about the royal family. So this is our royal family. That's the king, the queen, and their two daughters. The one on the left is called Leonor, the one in white, and she will be, sorry, the one on the right, the one in blue, is called Leonor, and she will be the next queen of Spain because they have no sons. So our next head of state will be the queen, Leonor, which is the girl in blue. All right, so I just wanted to show you a glimpse of the royal family. And the next, if you have any questions about the royal family, please go ahead. This is the extended royal family, the king and the queen, and the former king and the queen who are still alive, but not king and queen anymore, and their and the king's sisters and cousins and nephews and nieces. And if you all behave, and if you all show me your face in the camera, I may tell you a funny story about the king, about the old king. So you see the king now, the tallest guy, and the lady to his to the left, the lady in dark, that's the queen, Queen Letizia, and the little girl in red, that's Leonor, who will be the next queen of Spain in time. And then to the right of the king, you have his parents, the old lady in the center of the picture, that's Queen Sofia, and the old gentleman is King Juan Carlos. They are still alive, but they abdicated, so they're not the king and the queen anymore, and they're just enjoying their life. All right, so that's the Spanish royal family, who are plagued with scandals, and they have some funny stories as well. But those are maybe for another day. If you all behave, I may tell you. And I wanted to tell you about the most beautiful, most gorgeous subway in the world, or that I know of, which is in Moscow. So this is Moscow, Russia. And when you use their subway, it's almost like visiting a museum. You get all these nice columns, beautiful architecture, chandeliers, statues. It's like visiting a museum, you know. But it is a subway. It's a transportation system. It was opened in the 30s, I believe. It was Stalin who opened it, and it's the most beautiful subway you can even think of. It doesn't look like a subway. It looks like a museum.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah. I was really impressed. Really impressed. All these pictures, the following pictures are all from the Moscow subway. This is a chandelier. You have the red star there because it was built in communist times.
Mhm.
You see, so people take it regularly, like any other subway system in the world. Yeah, that's the red star because it was built during communist regime. But again, you see people taking it like any other subway in the world, only enjoying the views a bit better.
Mm. Oh.
Yeah, this is Moscow again. Imagine taking the subway. That's not what you expect. You can see the trains on both sides, but this is definitely what you expect when you take the subway anywhere else in the world, right?
Mm.
And this is not Moscow. This is Paris. I show this because Moscow has the best looking subway ever, but Paris has the best entrances, right? Entrance to any Moscow station is just a regular entrance, but in Paris, these entrances. In which were set up in the late 1800s in modernist style. They try to replicate nature and funny shapes. So I wanted to show you this. If you ever take the subway in Paris, you will enjoy this. See, these sites. It's packed once you get in the trains, but outside it looks nice, as you can see.
You got a little bit cut off, but I remember there was something special about only certain stations had this sign. I think you might have been saying.
Okay, yeah, right. So I was saying that Moscow has the most beautiful subway, but Paris has the best looking entrances, right? This is the entrance to a subway station in Paris.
Mhm, yeah.
And since I had shown you Moscow, which looks great, in Moscow the entrance to the stations are just regular looking, but in Paris they look this way. They look like this, and you don't see these anywhere else in the world.
Very cool.
So if you ever take the subway in Paris, this is what it looks like. We also have some interesting sites in Madrid. This is Atocha station in Madrid. So we're back in Madrid in Spain. And this is a very large station because it's both a subway station and a long distance train station. This is the station where you take the high-speed train. So this is where we ended up when we were coming back from Barcelona a couple of years ago. And we have a tropical garden here. All right, so inside the station, and you can see the structure on the sides, the walls. This is a typical train station structure, but inside of it, you have a tropical garden. So it's warm and humid there. And you have all these tropical plants there that are taken care of in the right conditions of temperature and humidity. And it's a very, very nice place to wait while you're, to just sit down and chill out while you're waiting for your train. So I wanted to show you, this because it's in Madrid, and yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I don't remember that. Why don't I remember that?
Because we probably took a different route in this. It's a very, very large station, so you don't always need to walk by them. And the bus was waiting for us on the other side, so
Yeah.
it would have been a long walk.
Did we see that, Kehlani? Was I just sleepwalking?
No, I don't remember that either.
I remember that was the best sleep I've ever gotten because we were up a lot that night dealing with some stuff. And so I slept the entire train trip from station to station. So I was probably out of it.
It's a very convenient way of traveling because you can sleep. This is the same tropical garden from the ground. So you can just take a nap there or just wait for your train there. It's very nice.
Yeah.
All right. So talking about funny things that happen on the subway. So this guy, okay, let me guess. I will let you guess what's going on there. Can anybody tell me what's going on there by reading that sign?
It says quieres. This part here
Yes.
says quieres.
Exactly. Tanya, which is a name, a female name. Quieres, and the rest I think you can read.
Casarte conmigo.
So who can tell me what that's about? That's the Madrid subway for sure.
Spare Teddy, can you say it? What is that?
I don't know.
Well, do you remember quieres means do you want to? Tanya, do you want to casarte conmigo?
Probably Tanya, do you want to marry me?
Yeah,
Muy bien.
very good, very well done. Exactly. Point for you.
That's pretty good. That's like a promposal, but
Yes, exactly. So a guy, this was on the news because it made the news because everybody was I don't know, amused by this. So this guy, a year before this, had met his girlfriend on the subway, and after I think 1 or 2 years they had been together, he proposed at this on the same subway platform that they had met at. So in this picture you have the guy's friends showing you this sign to to let the lady know what that was about. And then on the next picture, you have the guy proposing.
Right.
And right at the time that he was proposing, the train came by, so the sign was blocked. This was happening at the same time, and she of course said yes.
oh, that's cool.
It's interesting. That's funny because they had met on that very same place.
Right. Right. Did we get to the end?
What's that?
Is it the end?
I think there might be some other picture. I don't know. Was that it? It might be. It might be the
Might
last
be
one.
it.
All right.
Wow, what amazing that's like amazing slideshow. That's fantastico. What you wanted to see people's pictures, right? So, to tell them a story. Well, we got Kehlani
Yeah.
and we got who else? How many what do you think you could compromise, Daniel, on these very shy American teenagers?
All right.
American teen. What number do you think we can compromise at?
Okay. How many of them are there in total?
I have 22 in class right now.
All right. Let's say seven faces. If I see 7 faces, then I'll tell you a funny story.
Okay, 7 faces. We got Kehlani, of course.
Of course.
7 faces to get a good story about. Is it the royal family?
It's about the royal family. Yes.
Okay, 7 faces. So then we kind of change to calling Jose and Mai and Micah and Hannah, Jada, Alyssa, Amber, Tyson, Victor, Jaisha. You have somebody who is up at midnight in Spain. V, Chelsea. See, the problem is they were told early in the year that they don't have to.
Oh man. Okay. I did
V,
not.
okay, we got dos. Hola, V.
Hola, hola.
Hola, hola.
Hola, hola.
V. Her nickname is Vivir. And anything.
Okay. Let me
Vivienda,
encourage them to do it. It's some royal family gossip.
Ooh, gossip.
Gossip.
Can we
Ladies
get-
usually like gossip.
We got to get how many more? 5 más.
Come on. keep going.
Elias, let me check your grade. Let me see if you need some extra credit. Teddy, I think you missed a question on a recent quiz. Micah Ahora. We have Micah. His last name is Now. We call him Micah Ahora. We got Carlos. Carlos, the El Orgullo de Mexico, Carlos Mena, not showing his picture. Well, ese es el desafío que tenemos. Chelsea. Chelsea's enjoying her A, but that might slip to a B plus. Jada thinks she's Beyonce and she only has one name. Wait, we have Target. Somebody named, her nickname is Target coming into class. Hurricane Hannah, put your camera on, Hurricane.
Come on, Hurricane Hannah.
Come on, Hurricane Hannah. We have Spare Teddy and Real Teddy. Teddy Bolito, the Teddy bun of bread, Bolito. Jada, see, notice that Jada just added Avila, so I don't call her out for being Beyonce anymore. Well, at least when you lead a tour, people don't do this when they walk around.
They
So-
usually don't, because otherwise they would be bumping into the buildings as we walk around city.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I tell you what, it's amazing. I mean, only Jasha, who's trying to follow a college conference at the same time as this, and it would be the only excuse. Okay. Well,
Well,
I-
let me ask if anybody has any questions before I tell them
Okay.
anything else. Is there any question about anything that I said, that I mentioned, or anything you're interested in about Subway, about Madrid, about anything? Let me know. You can. Okay, let me see the chat here.
oh yeah,
Maybe-
there's some in the chat. Okay.
Okay, so we have a question here. Are there any secret locations? That's a good one. There's actually a secret station. There's a secret subway station that you cannot access through the regular network. It was actually part of the original Line 1, the first one that opened, the one that our king back then opened in 1919. So it was a regular station. Then they stopped using it. So it was locked, and no one got in there for many years. And a few years ago, 3-4 years ago, they reopened it, not for traveling, not for getting in and out of the subway. Oh, my connection is stable. This is saying.
Okay.
Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
it's a little choppy, but I still have you.
Okay, so I was telling you that about the secret subway station that used to be a regular station. They stopped using it for safety reasons and other reasons, and so it was closed for decades. And they reopened it 3-4 years as a museum, so to say, or as a secret place to visit. It's not, technically speaking, it's not secret, but you can visit this station, which looks like it did 100 years ago.
Oh wow.
And it's not part of the regular network, but it has a different entrance. So it's a kind of a creepy, eerie place, because it's considered a phantom, a ghost station.
Oh
And
wow.
they
Where
yeah,
is por donde, like near Seoul or?
it's actually 4 stops from Seoul to the north, so it's in the city center. It's
Yeah.
not far from where I live. It's I think it used to be the next stop after Bilbao. So going from Seoul to Bilbao, which is line 1 to the north, 3-4 stops up. Yeah, and other secret locations. Well, some couples have their own private secret locations, but other than that, yeah, you have that secret ghost station. Yeah, and that picture we're seeing now is Real Madrid's museum now. They made it a museum. They have so many trophies to show that they have a huge room with all of them. Well, a huge museum, part of the stadium.
Did you
Any other question?
did you see in the chat there was one? Did you answer? Can you fake your age to get a cheaper card?
Okay, can you fake your age to get a cheaper card? No, you can't, because you need to in order to get that cheaper card, you need to present your ID. Like your official ID, we have a national official ID, and it shows your age. So, I mean, you in order to do that, you would first need to get a fake official ID, and that's a felony. That's a crime. So you can go to jail for that. So it's hard to do that. What you can do is find a friend who has a cheaper card, as I do, and use it when she's not using it. But that's technically speaking not legal either. But I hope you're not going to tell anyone.
Any other questions?
Any other questions? Any other haunted locations besides the one that I told you? No. No. But let me tell you, every year there are a couple of people who get killed by the train because they're too drunk and they get too close to the end of the platform. They fall into the tracks, but that only happens if you're really drunk. Yeah, I mean, you need to be careful, especially when it's crowded. But unless you're drunk and you don't even know where you're going, it won't happen to you. But that happens a couple of times a year, unfortunately.
Sad.
You need to be careful. Yeah.
Let's see. So we have so this was the Trofeos, and this is in the museum at Bernabeu.
Yes, that's the museum at the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium, which I'm pretty sure we took the subway to get to.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if we have any soccer fans here. Yeah, that's the stadium itself. You can get down to the grass, to the pitch. They are actually it looks totally different now because because they're not playing at the stadium now because of the virus and everything. The league is being played without any audience, without any
fans.
Yeah, no spectators. So they're using a smaller stadium that they have, and they're taking advantage of this off time to renovate the whole stadium. It's gonna look completely different the next time you visit.
I remember that was where was it? Was it Madrid or was it Barcelona that had plans for an entirely new stadium? Was that Barcelona?
No, that's Madrid. That's what they're doing right now.
Oh, they're doing okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. It's gonna look like a spaceship. The project looks like out of this world. It's like a whole spaceship. It looks really, really cool.
Is it in the current location or is it a new location?
No, same location. Same location. They're just changing it.
Just changing. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so I had there was our high school banner, and then so I have it kind of set up to. I guess if you want to finish with like we could use like tomar, subir, bajar, and we were practicing sube, baja, toma, y cambia, and hacia for the word part. So hopefully I set these slides up okay to take us. I'll show you real quick what I have, and then we can. So we kind of focus in here. I hope I got it right, and then the last
absolutely right
here. And so basically just the route, if we want to try to go from, and I guess if I go back to here, I don't think I can zoom in. I can't zoom in anymore, but we're in this, where was it? It was
right there.
So this is the airport here?
It's actually to the north of the green line. There's actually a stop. It's at the end of the pink line.
Okay. Oh, there it is.
Right there.
And so is this your house or your parents? I forget.
That's my parents' house.
Okay. So if your parents want to go from this station, which I can't zoom in, but we will.
Yeah.
Get to Bernabeu.
Exactly.
Here.
Yeah.
So we'll figure out how to go green to blue and not go the wrong way and end up at Puerta del Sur and waste our tickets, right?
Yes.
So all right.
Waste a lot of time.
A lot of money and a lot of time. So
exactly.
Okay.
So should I say this in English or in Spanish?
We can go in español.
Español, perfecto. Muy bien. Well, let me tell you first that I speak the way we speak in Spain, which is probably a bit different than the way you are being taught, because in the US, most people who speak Spanish are Latin American, right? So logically, you are taught the Spanish the way it's spoken in the US. So you might find it a bit strange, just as lift and elevator, like the differences between American and British English. Mm-hmm. There are such differences and many more between Latin American Spanish and Spanish from Spain. So if anything sounds funny, that's the reason. You can make fun of me, that's fine. So empezamos en Canillejas. That's the name of the stop where my parents live, Canillejas, donde viven mis padres, ¿sí? Uh-huh. Entonces, tomamos el metro en Canillejas. Now, here's the first difference. We would say in Spain, tomamos, or many times we say cogemos. But we cannot say that word in Latin America because it has a different meaning. You can find out yourself. So here we say cogemos, but you would say tomamos o tomo el metro en Canillejas. ¿Sí? La línea 5, la línea verde. ¿Sí?
Ujú. Y
Ah,
el destino aquí.
el destino es Santiago Bernabéu, en la línea 10, línea azul. ¿Ok? Así que tengo que coger primero la línea verde y luego la línea azul. Tengo que hacer el cambio en... Ah, bueno, sí. Primero tengo que coger tomar la línea verde, la línea 5, hacia Casa de Campo. Casa de Campo is the end of the line. La última parada, Casa de Campo. Exactly. Hacia Casa de Campo. So that's the direction that I'm taking the train towards.
Porque
right?
si no, hacia la Madre de Osuna, dos paradas y ¿qué pasó?
Y claro, mal, wrong way. Acabas en el lugar equivocado. Acabas en el lugar en el que no quieres acabar.
Excelente.
Así que coges el metro, tomas el metro hacia Casa de Campo. Y después de 14 o 15 paradas, llegas a Alonso Martínez. ¿Sí? That's the name of the stop. El nombre de la estación es Alonso Martínez. Y en Alonso Martínez cambias de la línea 5 a la línea 10, la línea azul. La 5, line 10, línea 5, línea 10, es en Alonso Martínez. Y en Alonso Martínez coges o tomas la línea 10, la línea azul, hacia, what's the name of the last stop? Ahí la conexión. Hospital del Norte. I don't know if you could hear me because the line went off for a while.
Yep,
So,
we got you.
okay. So you get on the train, you transfer, cambias a la línea 10 hacia Hospital del Norte. 1, 2, 3, hasta up to Santiago Bernabéu. 3 paradas. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Ujú.
La primera es Gregorio Marañón. La segunda,
¿El médico?
Nuevos Ministerios.
El médico, ¿no? Mariñón es
Exacto.
el médico.
Exacto. El médico that we were talking about before.
Mm.
So, la primera es Gregorio Marañón. La segunda es Nuevos Ministerios. And the third one, la tercera, Santiago Bernabéu, which is the name of the stadium. So again, la línea 10 hacia Hospital del Norte,
Ujú.
3 paradas hasta Santiago Bernabéu.
Y Armando Cano.
Alonso.
Tenemos a un Armando Cano en la clase. Alonso Cano. Armando,
Alonso
are you
Cano.
related?
Maybe
Maybe in a distant life. We'll just call this one Armando Cano next time we go. Sí,
Yeah.
dice que sí.
Sí.
Qué bueno. So el viaje, it would probably seem to most of you guys that now we understand cómo funciona el sistema. We know how to buy the ticket. We know to find a boyfriend or girlfriend younger so we can get a cheaper ticket. We know that we know that we just, I don't know. I mean, it's just go to the right side of the correct side of the station based on the destination. And so when we got to Alonso Martinez, if we don't go towards El Hospital del Norte, whatever the other end is, then we end up going, let's see what that one is. We end up going like all the way to Puerta del Sur.
Yeah, really far away.
Really far. So we want to make that good change in Alonso Martinez and then a short ride. And I think that our experience in going to Bernabeu was we never did it as a group. On the trips we get free time, and we used our free time to go see Bernabeu, just like we used free time to go see Camp Nou in Barcelona and other things that we got to go see. And Kehlani, we saw the picture, actually in the video we saw Avengers Endgame in the video that I showed, and that we did that during free time as well. Seeing this was my day to pretend like I had daughters, and so I got my how many was it? 5 of you? and we went and saw the movies. So that was ese dia. And Heavenly, this girl was gonna try to join the class. I don't know if I didn't see her come in, but that oh, and there's Kaylani.
Thanks for that.
I'll just put this on low volume, and if you guys have questions, feel free to ask as we kind of round up our, it's super late for this guy, but he's
That's fine.
a man of the city who probably is early. Oh, I know what I want to play. You said it was too late for this at your house.
Oh. You're gonna show me singing?
I think it's here. Yeah, this is multi-talented person. Let me turn this up.
In your years, you will learn a lot about and if you have a chance to move to this side of the ocean at some point in your life, be it in college or for work, or whatever the reason, if you spend a long time here, a year or a few years, you will learn a lot about this place and about yourself. So I totally encourage you to do that whenever you have the chance.
They said bust out, bust out. Remember they taught you bust out. They taught you that dance at the Louvre. Do you remember they taught you the dance?
Yeah.
They- Now, do you want to explain what this song is?
All right. So each team has an anthem, and Real Madrid has its anthem as well. And they actually have two, the classic one and this one that they composed and recorded for the 100th anniversary of the club. And it was sung by Plácido Domingo, who's a very world star opera singer.
Yeah.
And he recorded it. And sometimes I sing it on tours when I like my groups and when we have Real Madrid supporters. So I think that's how we ended up, how we ended this tour, by singing the Real Madrid anthem.
Yeah, this was our last night.
I wouldn't mind singing it for you live, but it's past midnight here, so it might be a bit late for my neighbors.
What did you say? You wouldn't mind singing, but what?
I wouldn't mind singing it live now.
Yeah.
But it's a bit late for my neighbors here. And as you can see, it's a bit loud.
Okay.
You will see now.
Juegas en verso, que sepa el universo, como juega el Madrid, sale el Madrid a ganar, sale el Madrid a jugar, para Madrid,
All right.
Yeah, so many memories from this trip.
Sorry, I forgot about that, Kehlani. but no, the whoa, that's right. It was a whoa. Or, I mean, yeah, the whoa, and then they taught you how to bust out in basically a few hundred yards from the Mona Lisa, like on the right above the Louvre, in one of the most beautiful art museums in the world, and you were like, whatever the bust out is, that was what they were trying to teach those guys.
I think I remember, but I'm not a dancer, so I probably didn't learn it properly.
Yeah, me neither. Bueno, any other questions about Spain or Europe or any of that para Daniel? Clase. Hopefully you guys learned a lot. Que aprendieron mucho.
What's the Louvre like?
Okay, what was the Louvre?
Well, it's a very large museum. It has countless pieces of art that you can't help loving because they're all gorgeous, and it's very well. It used to be extremely crowded, and yeah, that's all I can say. It's large, it's beautiful, and you can spend actually you could spend so many time such a long time there. They have about a couple of million art pieces, sculptures, paintings, mosaics, old furniture, but they only have about 100,000 in display. So if you wanted to look at all of them, to see all of them, you would spend weeks without leaving the museum, and you will not finish. So it's yeah, that's the Louvre Museum on that video. You have the Mona Lisa there. You have the Victory of Samothracia. You have the Venus of Milo. That is still Paris. That's the Love Bridge. So yeah, the Louvre is gorgeous. You should see it once.
Yeah.
And that is a small. No, I think that's a small. No, that's
It was in the Latin Quarter. I don't remember the name of the church, but it's in the Latin.
yeah, that was a small church, small Gothic church. It wasn't Notre Dame. It was a small Gothic church in the Latin Quarter. Yeah.
Snail.
That's escargot. That's the snails. That's eating snails in Paris.
Oh, the
that's
Metro.
me.
I
Yeah,
forgot.
that's me giving out. In Paris. So they have different signs, Paris Metro, and the train looks different, but it works the same way. That's Montmartre, which is a large church on top of a hill in Paris with great views. What is that? What is that? That's still Paris. That's still Paris. Yeah. Oh yeah, that was this guy that was dancing there, performing there, and everybody ended up doing that
Oh, cool.
dance. That was super nice. We have another question here. What should we be mindful with when traveling? Well, pickpockets, especially in Paris and Barcelona. I always remind my groups about pickpockets all the time because we have so many pickpockets. So many people I've had so many people pickpocketed in my trips because they're very skillful. So that would be the number one concern. The second thing would be not getting run over by a car and watching both sides of the road when crossing, and just be careful. But in Europe, most places are very safe, so there's not many things there are not many things to be concerned about. Just enjoy the ride and try to learn and see as much as you can. Other than that, be careful with pickpockets. Keep all your belongings out of easy reach, and just look on both sides of the street when you cross. But other than that, that's fine. These pictures are Barcelona, a beautiful park in Barcelona. As you can see, Barcelona is by the sea, so you can have a sea view from there. And that's a temple under construction in Barcelona. It's called La Sagrada Familia, the Holy Family. Very beautiful, and still under construction after 120 years. And it used to get millions of visitors every year. And that was our group visiting the inside of the temple. I hope that answered your question about what to be mindful with when traveling. That's my reason making up words.
More words like subway. Yeah, this was amazing. We our first two times in Barcelona at Overfelt, we didn't get to go inside. This was the first time that we got to go inside the Sagrada Familia.
Yeah, it's not easy to get inside. We don't usually get inside with large groups because you need a reservation months ahead, and they don't usually let in groups more than 20, 30. But this time we could do it, which was nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
And these are pigeons in Barcelona that people feed, and then they transmit all kinds of diseases. No, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I'm not very fond of them. That's a medieval market which is very colorful and everybody loves to walk around. This is what these places look like, have looked like for many years. Now everything's empty, but hopefully next year it will all be back to normal again.
Yeah.
But this is what it always looks like. It was always crowded because people loved this market. It's so colorful and so lively. And so we always spend a good chunk of time there. That's the Gothic Quarter in Barcelona, which is all narrow streets. And that's where we get the bikes for the bike tour,
That was fun.
which is one of the best parts of any trip, the bike tour.
Yeah, that was cool. That was a fun time.
You know, in Madrid, we have a system of bikes for public transportation, but they have a little engine, so you can pedal, but you can also just make them work on their own, because in Madrid we have a lot of uphills and downhills, so it would be very hard to ride a bike. In Barcelona, it's easier
Yeah,
because it's flatter by the sea.
it is. Yep. There's,
And that's Mauricio
it's a perfect
pretending
place,
to be me.
perfect place to end. And there was some excitement, some police stuff going on down the street that you were checking out, and
Yes, they were arresting somebody, some pickpocket for sure.
yeah. And we had a pickpocket in Paris. Kehlani, you probably remember. I don't remember whose phone was taken, but then our big football guys.
Oh yeah, I remember that. He went to him and he got it back, right?
He told him like so I forget what he said. Kehlani, do you remember what Steven Stender said to the pickpocket in Paris?
I don't remember.
It was something gently threatening about you probably want to give that phone back, with he and his other football buddies that were there watching these guys, and then they gave it back and they ran off and they were yelling and stuff. But
yeah, they said something like that, but I don't think they needed to say anything. His presence was threatening enough. These were these two big guys.
yeah.
So they got the phone back. Yeah.
He's in the army now.
He's in the army now.
Yeah, that's probably
That
good.
suits him.
Yeah. All right. Hey, ya son las 4 and who knows what time it is ahí in Madrid. Muchísimas gracias, Daniel. Everybody,
Very welcome.
you could jump onto your mics, everybody, and give him a proper gracias with a TH. Gracias. That would be, I think, appropriate. So if you have a microphone that's working, dile gracias.
Gracias.
Muy bien.
Gracias, Daniel.
Muy bien.
Gracias a vosotros. Gracias.
Gracias.
Gracias a ustedes. I hope you found it interesting, and I hope you learned a little bit. And I hope to see you all traveling around Europe soon.
I can't wait to get back.
Yeah,
Great.
that would be great.
You do London, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I'll have to.
I have. Yeah, I was supposed to do an England, France, and Spain in June. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but if traveling is allowed in June, we will.
Well, I think our trip is going to get moved. I think I think we may try for the summer, but realistically,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's happening in 2021 now. So whatever it is,
Yeah, 2022 is probably more realistic at this point. We'll see.
yeah, we'll get in touch and meet you in London.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah,
That would be great.
yeah, it would be great. Awesome. Let's see who's still here. Okay, you guys, you can. It's okay to go if you say adios or gracias.
All right. Adiós, muchas gracias.
Let's hear the
No,
gracias.
is there a flip grid?
No.
No? Okay. Adios.
Adiós. Hasta la próxima.
Yep, until next time. Oh, Kehlani left.
Sí, gracias.
Bueno. And then Hannah already said goodbye. Then you'll get people who, you're there. People that end up at the end of the meeting who may have fallen asleep or may just left the computer in a normal class, not today. Like they're still there and you say, Carlos, are you there, Carlos?
Carlos, wake up.
¿Qué pasa, Carlos? And we have an adios y gracias. Gracias.
Okay.
Bueno. All right.
Muy
Well,
bien.
hey, I thank you for staying up so late, and I
I hope it was interesting. I hope that they had at least something different that they
Absolutely.
could
Absolutely. I'll save the recording and then play it for my other two sections.
Oh, fine. Good. Good.
Yeah, unless you want to join the one tomorrow, which I can play the recording, so don't feel pressured. I will always accept real people, but it's a lot of time to, and I'm glad that the internet connection stayed solid the whole time.
Yeah, I think it worked better than yesterday.
It was great. Yes, it did. So like I said, I have that. If you're bored, I have that random class tomorrow, but I can play the recording. So thank you so much. Just
You're
let me
very
know.
welcome.
Just let me know. All right.
Okay. I don't think I can make it at that time, but
Okay.
maybe
It's okay.
maybe some other time, some other class.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfecto. Muchísimas gracias.
Gracias a ti. Gracias a ti y hasta pronto.
Hasta pronto.
Chao.
Ciao.
Chao, chao.
Bye.
Adiós, adiós.
What? I wanted to say ciao. You know, for the subways, I wanted to say like, is it cramped a lot all the time or what?
Not all the time, only during rush hour. Pretty much like traffic at home. You have
Mhm.
at certain times during the day the highway is packed. It's jammed. At others, it's almost empty. Same thing with the subway.
Then if it was cramped, I feel like it must be hot. The temperature probably.
Especially in the summer. Some cars don't have AC. So in the summer when it's crowded, it might get hot. Yeah, sometimes it does. But we appreciate that this time of the year because it's very cold outside for us. It snowed a couple of weeks ago. We had the worst snowstorm in
Oh,
70
no.
years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so getting in the train makes you warm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, worst snow storm. Yeah, I actually had a video of my girlfriend coming out of the subway with the whole snow. I can send it to you if you want to show
Yeah.
it in
Yeah.
classes.
I will.
It was
Yeah.
all covered in snow.
Oh my gosh. I
That's
wouldn't.
scary, I think. I don't know. I mean, I touched snow before, so I know what it is. I felt it before.
Where did
Well,
you?
I,
Very
s-
cool.
you
I
have
was
been here a couple of weeks ago,
snowboarding
you would have
before,
touched a lot of
so I know how it is.
It's cold,
Nice.
and I can tell you.
Yeah, I'll kind of like in the video it show like the churro and the chocolate, right? I kind of want churros now, honestly.
I'm sure you can get that. You can get them at home somewhere, but if not, come to Madrid and I will take you to a good churros place.
Yes, they're very
Mm.
different. They're different than the churros here. Like they're not sugary.
Really?
They're not.
Oh, it's
over-
not that sweet?
Well, it's not cinnamon sugar. It's a little more plain, but it still is very good. And then the chocolate is really thick and kind of dark, and it's super good.
Yeah, the chocolate is a whole
Ah.
different story. It's very thin, it's very dense. Yeah,
That's why they say chocolate con churro instead of the churro con chocolate. So it's like the main thing is the chocolate. It's interesting.
exactly. That's the main thing. The chocolate. Yeah.
Awesome.
Exactly.
Awesome. Okay, Hannah.
Mhm.
Nos vemos.
All right, well, bye. Thank you,
Adios.
Daniel, for your presentation. Bye,
You're
Senor Al, too.
Okay,
Bye,
bye-bye. Nos
Daniel.
vemos.
Bye.
Adios.
You're very welcome. Bye. Adios,
I didn't, I, no,
Bye.
I didn't know Hannah was gonna have tanta vida al final, but
Yeah.
that's
well,
cool. That's cool. They're all good kids. They just get kind of quiet, but you know how that goes.
Yeah. It's always like.
Bueno, okay. De mi corazón, nos vemos.
Gracias. Hasta la próxima. Chao.
Okay.